Hey everyone, it's Sherry here from Inner Rhythm. Just having a couple of technical issues today, a lot of technical issues actually. So if my camera is a bit wobbly, I apologise. My little stand has decided to not work and hold on to my phone today. So when I go out, I will get another one and fix that issue. But for now, I just wanted to get on and do the live video today as promised. About developing confidence. So I just wanted to talk to you a bit about that because I often work with business people and with individuals who are lacking in confidence, and sometimes it will be when they're first getting started in business they'll be lacking in confidence. Sometimes it'll be as they're growing their business that a confidence crisis will pop up for them. And there are some simple things that you can do to have a stronger sense of calm and peace, I suppose, and a stronger sense of confidence in your life. And so I just wanted to have a little bit of a chat to you about those. So the first thing is often we will have a crisis of confidence if we're comparing what we're doing or how well we're doing, how well we think we're doing with other people. And it's important to have a support group around you who can cheer you on and help you in business, and this group is fantastic for that. So plug into those sorts of things too. But just sometimes we will look at people, or we will forget about where we're going and how far we've come. So take some time to reflect on why you do what you do and where it is that you want to take it to, and don't compare that to other people's journey because everyone's got their own why. If you haven't seen Simon Sinek's Start With Why TED Talk, I would suggest you go have a look with that, because people, your tribe, will connect with you because of who you are and what you bring. So don't compare yourself to other people and who they get and how much they charge and that sort of thing. I mean, use comparisons to make your business better, but don't use comparisons to determine your self-worth and how much your business is worth or how valuable it is to other people. So that would be the first thing, is don't compare yourself to anybody else. The next one would be to remember your wins. There will be times in your life when you've had some wins, you've overcome things, you've gotten through things that at the time seemed insurmountable. And I'll give you a couple of examples in my own life. So I grew up with my grandmother and not with my siblings, and I went back to connect with the family when I was 13. And over the next few years, I was pretty wild. I was a pretty wild child, and a lot of that came out of, there was a big sense of bravado, I suppose. Like I was the fierce one, and I thought I was being assertive, but I was actually being quite aggressive towards people around me because I was very angry and I didn't have confidence about my situation. I didn't feel comfortable about my situation. And over the years, and then I had children and got into business, and in that business my ex-husband took off and left us with a very large debt, which sent me into a bit of a spiral. And during that I didn't have confidence that we would be able to get out of that, but I couldn't take the time out. I didn't have time to sit and wonder or compare what I was going through to anybody else. And when I did get out of that, so it took me 5 months to sell the business that we had, and another 6 months or so to settle the property, and 18 months after that to clear the balance of debt. But there were people afterwards who said to me, why didn't you just do this, or why didn't you just do that? It's like I didn't have the time I needed to worry about myself and my children and get out of the situation that we were in. And so I didn't have the time to look at other things. And I think getting through that, hard as it was a good confidence building exercise for me, because after I got through that, and it was very difficult, then I thought, there's pretty much, I've been through that. So if I ever get into that situation again, and hopefully I never would, but if I ever did, at least I knew the steps to take to get out of it. So think about the things that you've been through, and think about how far you've come and how skilled you are at getting through those things, because everyone's been through something. Even people with seemingly perfect lives have had some challenges to overcome, and at some level you've either had the skills or you've developed the skills to get through that. So if you go through a similar thing, you'll get through it much, much quicker. So remember your wins that you have come through. The third thing I would say is check your posture. So it's really easy when things are not going well to get really down and to kind of not stand tall. And when I was young, I used to ride horses competitively, and people who meet me who know that think that I used to do dressage because they're like, you've got such good posture. And I think I was talking with my brother last night, and he was talking about, I don't know what he was watching, but some guy said, oh, I can see somebody walking across the street and I can tell you about what their self-worth is. And so how you carry yourself, regardless of what is going on, will make you feel better. So it's not about, being nose in the air and stuck up or anything like that. It's about carrying yourself with a posture and the knowledge that you will get through this, whatever it is, and having confidence in your ability. So if you are a great speaker or a great cook or a great photographer or a great anything, you're great at personal training, then have confidence in that. You're not going to be great at everything, and that's okay. So the things that you are great at, have confidence and be proud of that and carry yourself from that space. So I've done a lot of work with Tony Robbins over the years and with various other coaches, and I know how important posture is when you are about to go and do something that might seem a bit frightening or a bit scary. And I talk about this with people when I'm training business as well, is about your posture. And Amy Cuddy's got a great TED talk on body language and the Wonder Woman pose. If you're going into a meeting that might seem a bit frightening or you're not sure of the outcome and you're feeling a bit anxious about that, that's do that pose or whatever it is that you need to do to get into a state. And when you think about being excited as opposed to being anxious, there are things that happen in our body in both scenarios. There we are. Just a bit of a pause in the video there. I don't know what was going on, but it seems like we're back on now. So we're just talking about body language and about how our bodies respond to things. So we don't have, nothing has any meaning until we give it a meaning. And when I do stress management courses and we're talking to people about managing stress, the first, for stress to be present, you have to be aware of it. And if you're not aware of a stress, then you're not worried about it. So we give things meaning based on what's happened to us in the past or what we believe about what could happen next. And often, if you think about a time when you felt afraid or anxious and a time when you felt excited, the feeling in your body is the same feeling. It's the meaning that we give to whatever's going on. So if somebody tells me they're really afraid of something, I'm like, tell me about that feeling and then tell me about a time when you're excited. And could it be that the fear is just that you're stepping into a new area, that you are going outside of your comfort zone, and that is where the growth will happen. So that could be something to get really excited about. So sometimes it's a switch in thinking, and it's a switch in how you hold your body. The next one would be like step number 4 in developing some confidence. Remember the 80-20 rule. It's called the Pareto principle, and it was based on 80% of your income will come from 20% of your clients, and it was used a lot in sales, but also you can use it in lots of other areas. And when you think about confidence, if you're confident 80% of the time and 20% of the time you're not, that's okay. Like, it's almost like a universal law. So you're not going to be confident all the time in every situation. And you might be the greatest chef in the world and be trying a new dish and not be confident that it's going to work out, because we don't know whether things are going to work out until we have gotten a fair way through the task or close to completion of the task. So if you're confident 80% of the time, and the other thing is, think about when you learnt to drive a car, how confident were you that you would be safe on the roads every single time? And now if you've been driving for any length of time, you just get in your car and you go from A to B and you don't really think about it. So you've developed a level of confidence that you didn't have in the beginning. So practicing things until you get confident at them is another good little tip. So 80% of the time, if you're confident, that's fantastic. 20% of the time, that's when the growth happens. So that's okay too. You could have a gratitude or a win journal. So Oprah's very big on having a gratitude journal. And at the end of every day, she writes down 3 things that she was grateful for that day. And it might be simple things like somebody opened a door for her. So you can do that any way you like. Get a beautiful book and write in it at the end of each day 3 things that you're grateful for. Or have a little jar. I've got a little jar. It's up in the other room, or I'd go and get it for you. But I've got a little jar and I write things on little post-it notes. So if somebody sends me a nice text or something like that, I might print it out. Sometimes I'll even take a screenshot if it's something that's been said online and put it in the jar. And then when I'm not feeling very confident or doubting my own abilities about things, I'll just pull 1 or 2 things out of there of nice things that people have said or wins that I've had, and just remind myself that there are great things happening and to focus on those great things, and that when we're not so confident or not great things are happening, that's part of life. There's I think it's a Buddhist saying. It says you cannot have the mountaintop experiences without also having the valleys. So if there were no valleys, there'd be no mountaintops. We'd have nothing to compare it to. And if life was great all the time and we were confident all the time, we think that we want that, but really we would probably get bored. So it's okay to, it gives us a comparison to things. So celebrate the wins. And the last thing that I would say to you is that you are perfect just the way you are. So I, throughout psychology and doing the NLP training and all of that, we come from a client-centered approach, that you are okay and that whatever you are doing now is working for you. And if you want to do something different and behave in a different way, then that's great. Then find somebody to work with and start working on better or more empowering ways for you, but that what you are doing now is okay. So just keep moving forward and keep learning new things, keep connecting with fantastic people, keep expanding your tribe so that you've got advocates who talk up great things for you, and your confidence will naturally develop. So as I said at the beginning, and we've had lots of technical glitches today, so I apologise for those. But at the beginning is that you are perfect just the way you are. You are developing confidence on a daily basis. It's not something that just happens overnight. It's more of a gradual thing. And as you get older, you start to care less about what people think of you. And you start to care more about doing things that are aligned with your values and your desires and your goals for yourself and your family and the world, and wherever you want to take that it's almost like we get told that we should be driven in our teens, in our 20s, and through high school and stuff like that. Work hard, get a good job, and be driven and save up all your money and buy land and all of those sorts of things. But what I've found working with lots of people over several years is that it's almost like you get to 35, 40, 45, 50, and then you start to get really driven about, you know what, I'm here to do something and I'm going to go do it. And the more focused you are on what it is that you want to do, the less focused you are on what other people think about that. And the less focused you are on any negative things that other people might say about what it is that you want to do. So hold on to your dreams and your passions and keep moving towards those. If you are confident 80% of the time, that's fantastic. Work on your posture. So stand tall, be proud. You've got this far. The chances of you even getting to the planet, minuscule when you look at biology and stuff like that. So you've made it. You've already won. So go out and have more wins and be proud of what you've done so far. If you'd like to talk more, you can get in touch with me. Apparently, I've just had an email to say my website is down. So shoot me a message through here if you want to, or send me a text. You can find my number on my Facebook page. So get in touch, and I would love to chat to you more, or hopefully I'll see you at one of the Women's Business Society brunches, or an event that I'm running, or something like that. So go out, be confident, show your gorgeous self to the world, shine. Have a great day.